Hello and welcome to a quick fix yoga flow where we will stretch the quads and the hip flexors and hamstrings and work our way into a triangle pose. So let's come and have a comfortable seat on the mat to begin. Crossing the legs, sitting nice and tall on the sit bones. Closing our eyes for a moment. Finding that nice, clear, bright light that we have in our spine. And we'll just dig in there a little bit each breath with this practice and let that all simmer out to the outer layers of the body and to our quads, hip flexors, and hamstring areas. We'll take one more breath right here, centering together. And opening our eyes, take the right arm up to the sky, bringing it up and over, and switching sides, taking it up and over to the right side, and we'll do it again like a nice windmill, holding on to that belly button and staying connected to the lower and to the upper body. And from here, slowly take it all the way back up, and we're gonna come to the knees, please. Maybe we need a blanket underneath the knees, or maybe we double up our mat, tucking the toes under in the back and coming into just a nice, like a half Tadasana on our knees. Take the arms up to the sky. Take your right wrist over to the left side, stretching all the way into the hips, the whole side body, and getting ready for our quad, hip flexor and hamstring stretches. And come up and over, second side. Come over towards the right side. Inhale and exhale. One more breath, and we'll take one more to that left side, stretching into the right side. And up and over, second side, holding the center. And slowly bringing it all the way up, hands to the side. Take your left leg out, and we'll come to side crescent, stretching into that side body. And just getting a little deeper in towards the side of the waist and scooping the tailbone down towards that left heel, and also getting in to the front of the left hip, tapping in gently. Side crescent, supported plank, and gently make your way back up, arms to the side and switch sides. Take your right leg out and come over with your left hand down. Sweep the right arm up and over, and also holding on to the front side. Staying connected, upper and lower body. One more breath right here. And then gently we'll take it all the way back up and bring the knees in, hands to the sides. Come to the front, tabletop please. Spread the fingers, tuck the toes. 3 cat-cows, arching the spine up to the sky. And hollow, bringing it all the way back down into a nice long flexing spine. Exhale, press the hands, the knees, and the toes down. Big articulation to each and every vertebrae. And inhale, taking the gaze up. And one more time. Exhale, all air out. And inhale, bringing it all the way into the full of the body. And then exhale, come to tabletop. Tuck the upper arm bones in, pull the belly button in, take your downward facing dog, please. We'll take 3 breaths here. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones, elongate the spine, and yes, we're pressing down, but we're also lifting up and away, all at the same time. Step your right foot between the hands, take your left knee down, inhale, Anjasana. Arms forward and up. Come forward into your hips, stretch into your left quad. A few breaths right here. And one more breath. Really soaking it up in towards that left quad and hip flexor. And exhale, hands down. Step it back, downward facing dog. Left foot between the hands. Take your right knee down. Inhale, arms forward and up. Come forward in the outer hips, bicep towards ears. Pull the belly button in and lengthen, lifting the heart and the the chest. We'll stay one more breath right here. And exhale, release, hands to the mat. Step it back, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank pose, shoulders and wrists are stacked. Take your knees down, come all the way down. Inhale to cobra, stretch your legs back. Click all your 10 toes down from the front side of your foot. Pull the ears back, lift your heart and your chest. Tuck your elbows slightly in and then exhale. Bring it back down, push back, child's pose. One breath. Come back to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes. Let the breath flow through the body. Step your right foot between the hands. Come nice and low into a supported crescent lunge. Lift the heart, the gaze. Exhale, press your front heel down. Head towards knee. 2 straight legs. And then we'll come back down to our supported low lunge with hands on each side. And exhale, straighten the legs. Check in with hamstrings. And gently inhale one more time. Coming forward and exhale, bringing it back down. 2 straight legs. Hamstrings. Pull your right hip back. Gently make your way back down for our low lunge. Hands supported, step back. Downward facing dog. We'll plug a vinyasa in here. Come to shoulders and wrists stacked, plank pose. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, roll over the toes into your upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, bring it back down. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your left foot between the hands. Come to supported crescent lunge with hands on each side of your front foot, and the gaze can come slightly up. And then exhale, come to Parasvattanasana, pyramid pose, head towards knee. And inhale, drinking it in through the heart space and lifting up. And exhale, press your heel down, pull the belly in, head towards knee. We'll do one more. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, come to your pyramid pose. And sink all the way back down to your supported lunge, and then hands to the mat fully. Step back, downward facing dog, and we'll come through our plank pose, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale to our downward facing dog. Press the palms, lift upper arm bones. Step your right foot between the hands. Take your left knee down. Take your hands to the inside of your right leg. Can stay right here. We can come down onto the forearms. We can use a block for the forearms. Give yourself a few breaths. Inhale and exhale in towards that left quad. And there is certainly a whole bunch of hamstring and adductor involvements in that front leg. We're just toning front and back of the leg so we can come into a comfortable Trikonasana. And slowly hands back down onto the mat. Tuck the toes, extend your back knee, step it back. Come to your plank pose, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. Left foot between the hands. Come down with your back knee, hands to the inside, and forearms to block or mat. Or hands can stay too. We don't have to come down, but we'll come to where it feels comfortable. We'll stay right here. Saturating the stretch by bringing some nice, good oxygen in towards the muscles and opening them up with this nice big inhale and exhale. And hands to the mat, step it back, lift your back leg and step back to downward facing dog and come over to plank pose, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and exhale to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then we're going to come to plank and lower all the way down to the mat. I like to take my knees down because that reminds me of holding on to my lower abdominals. And then come all the way way down. Align yourself on the mat, toes down, hands by the shoulders for now. And then we'll take the hands and interlace behind us, and maybe stretching them out, and maybe lifting our chest and opening the shoulders, getting ready for some external rotation on our shoulders. Shavasana, we'll stay another breath right here. We'll stay another breath and lift the legs. Inhale and exhale, and really get that whole back body to wake up. And then exhale, bring it all the way back down. Hands by the shoulders, counter stretch with child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Make your way up to tabletop, tuck the toes and have your knees underneath your hips. Take your right leg up to the horizon, and we'll do 3 hip circles. Take your knee down and out to the side. And see if you can keep nice and stable into shoulders and hips. And bring it back down. Second side, take your left leg up, and then we'll take the knee down to your other knee, out to the side, keeping the abdominals stable, rotating your hip socket 3 times, and then we'll take it all the way back down. Tuck the toes, push back, down dog. Come up onto your toes, bend your knees, look between the hands, take a step or a hop over to your hands. Inhale, long spine. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hinge and fold, top of the head towards the mat. Let's take the hands to the hips, elbows to sky, and come up to standing and release the hands. And just take a moment to stand in Tadasana and feeling the 4 corners of the feet neatly organized and grounded and active. And then from here, step the feet wide apart to Prasarita Padottanasana, and hands to the hips. We'll take 1 dive to the back body and strengthen the front, and then we'll come to our Trikonasana. Elbows to the back, lift the heart and the chest, and exhale, hinge and fold. Take the top of the head towards the mat, roll the shoulders up and back. Push the hips back with your hands. I'm hoping that there is a nice feedback to the whole back of the leg, and we're continuing with those 4 corners of the feet and making sure they're nice and grounding us and nice and active, pulling them all towards the midline. And then gently take your hands to the floor, extend your arms, and let's turn the right heel in, which is shortening the stand a little bit. Take your hands out to the side for 2-hand supported Trikonasana. Pull the belly button in, squeeze gently the glutes, and take that right hip, the glute, and kind of wrap it down to the floor, and take your right hand outside your right shin ankle and the left arm up to the sky, and come to Trikonasana right here. And there is certainly, if you're using blocks, you just take a block underneath that right hand and raise up the floor. Bottom ribs comes forward and the top ribs comes back. And then exhale, take your hand back down to your hip, and then bring your hands back down inside of the right foot, elongate, and then hands back to the center. And then we'll move over to the second side. Turn your left heel in, take your hands over inside your left foot for 2-hand Trikonasana, supported version. Pull the inner edges of the feet isometrically towards each other and stay nice and toned into the center. Take your left hand outside your left shin ankle, squeeze the glutes, and take your left hip down, your left glute down, and take your right hand to the hip and up to the sky. Any of those. Lift it all the way up, bottom ribs forward, top ribs back. Breathing, firing up all the parts of the body. And exhale, bring it all the way back down. Take your hands to the front again. 2 hands supported Trikonasana, and then we'll take it back to the center. And inhale, long spine, and exhale, fold. Take the hands between the heels and take the top of the head towards the mat. Pull the shoulders away from the ears and extend the arms. Come to down dog. Hands to the front. We'll come through vinyasa and we'll have one more way of coming into Trikonasana. So we're in plank pose. We'll roll chaturanga. We'll inhale up dog and exhale downward facing dog. And take your right leg up to the horizon. Squeeze the midline. Maybe even take it up towards the sky. Fully elongate the leg. Step your right foot between the hands. And from here, evolve up to triangle pose. Shoulder blades down on the back. Press the big toe. Mound of the big toes down. Exhale. Take your hand back down. Turn your hips forward. Step back to your down dog. Come forward to plank pose. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Engage your arms, your biceps. Hug your left leg into the midline, horizon style. If it feels strong and comfortable, lift your leg a little higher. Step your left foot between the hands. Straighten your legs. Left hand behind your left shin, ankle in the center. Right arm up to the sky. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale and exhale. One more breath right here. And slowly take it back down. And turn your toes. Step back, downward facing dog. One last vinyasa. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees. Take a step or hop over to your hands. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold second toe forward. We can widen the feet hip widths apart. Take a hand in each and elbow and come to ragdoll. And give ourselves a little swing side to side. Closing up with a forward bend. And release the hands. Come and take a seat. Stretch your legs forward. Next pose is Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend. To close up our practice, take the arms up to the sky. Bring the ribs in, hands over towards the feet. Maybe you take your big toes. Maybe you take around your legs. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, elbows out to the side. Hinge and fold forward. Big opening for the back body and like a nice big closing of energies that we opened up. And we'll just want to kind of make sure that they come into the right and whole place in our body so that we feel plugged into ourselves after this practice. So we're closing it up by hugging it all in with our forward fold. Pull the belly in, abdominals, elbows out to the side. Breathe into hamstrings, hips. And slowly extend back up. Come to a comfortable seat. Closing up by sitting together and centering ourselves back into our day. Hands to the knees, nice and tall. Pull the ears slightly back. I'm hoping that there is like a nice new awareness in the legs, in the hips, in the hip flexors. One more breath. And gently hands by the heart. And if you'd like to join me in a closing Om, we'll take a comfortable inhale and then we'll exhale our Om. And then I'm hoping that you will also take time to lay down for a few minutes in Shavasana. Inhale for Om. Release the hands, Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for taking this time to stretch your body and open the pathways and lift off stagnations. And we'll take a Shavasana together, and I look forward to seeing you in the next yoga practice. Namaste. I like to press my head and lift the shoulder blades so that they're nicely supporting me on the back. Palms facing up, toes relaxed, feet open. And just letting the energy that we put in motion find its place. And some of it is kind of buzzing out of the hands and the bottom of the feet. And some of new waves are buzzing into a nice new place that we just made.